everybody, this is Jolie DeMarco, All Things Spiritual from A to Z. I know you don't really know me that much, so I'm introducing myself. So basically, I'm a professional psychic of 15 years. I am an international author. I wrote 8 books, 5 oracle decks, 7 guided meditations, and much more stuff. So I hope you join me for my episode and my new show called All Things Spiritual from A to Z. And you could also reach out to me. You can connect on my website, joliedemarco.com, podcast, any way you can. But let's have fun together, and remember, be spiritually aware. When I started my spiritual journey, I didn't really know too much about it because I was a child. I used to feel things through my window. I'd feel like this dark energy was flying through my window and attaching to me. I actually would feel like I was getting choked at night and I couldn't move. It was like in paralysis. And during that time, my parents just thought maybe I was just scared of the dark. So every day my parents would, before it was time to go to bed, they would turn on the lights for me. They would look in my closet, look under my bed, and they would say, "Jolie, there's nothing here. There's nothing scary here. There's nothing here. We promise you." But still, I could feel it and I could see it. And I didn't know why they couldn't see it too. So I slept with the light on, or I'd sleep down on the stairs. And for years, until I was almost like 15 years old, I went through this, sort of like torture because I didn't know if it was good, bad, or indifferent. And at that time, it was really scary. You didn't want to say that you can hear and know things. As a kid, you didn't really understand it. And as I grew older as an adult, I realized that a lot of those energies that I saw coming through my window, speaking to me, because I would hear things, what we call clairaudiently, messages from people that weren't there, where you didn't see a person, but I would hear something and get a message. I realized it was from angels and guides and spirits. That means people who've passed over and those that are other than human. And so once I realized kind of what it was, that was my spiritual awakening, because even though I was awakened as a young child, I didn't realize that this is something real. This happens to other people too. And now I wanted to learn so much about it. So 16 years ago, I opened a spiritual store. And in that spiritual store, I call it a meditation center as well. And I start teaching people what I learned. And then I was learning at the same time. So through Reiki, which is different kinds of healing modalities such as sound, frequency, I learned about clairvoyance. I learned about all these different words. And I really didn't know what they meant. I just thought, okay, this is something that I'm going to be to understand. And as I did my research and as I did more of these things in my life, and I realized how gifted I was, and it didn't seem like it was a curse anymore. It felt like a gift to me. And sometimes it makes me a little teary-eyed because I think about that I was thinking that I was tortured when I was younger. But it really wasn't torture at all. It was really just this gift that I had and how beautiful it was. But nobody got to tell me about it. So why I created this series is because A to Z, All Things Spiritual, is because I want you to understand that if you're going through the same thing, maybe you're an empath, maybe you have these abilities. Because I believe we all do. We're just on different levels of them. Some people just have them more naturally. I always say it's like you could be an NBA basketball player, but everybody could play basketball, right? So some people just have the gifts stronger than others immediately in their life, but everybody can grow to learn psychic abilities, ESP, and maybe you are the same. Maybe you are experiencing an openness or a spiritual awakening. And so me teaching you these spiritual terms, spiritual experiences, and sharing my experiences with all of you, maybe it'll click with you too. And you'll realize, hey, maybe this happened to me and now I could use it in different ways. Or maybe I want to experience some of these cool things that are spiritual. And you can learn them or you can connect with them. And that's what I'm here for. So since I love to teach and share through multiple books that I've written, but also one-on-one and in this series, I want to help you understand about all these wonderful things that maybe you could connect with and move forward in your life. I want to teach you everything that you wanted to know about spiritual and metaphysical subjects, such as psychic intuition, channeling, empathism, telepathy, astral travel, parallels, past lives, and also mudras and more. So I notice a lot of people want to learn about things that are spiritual, but they're not always sure exactly what they are when they heard the terms. So there's different terms and words that we use in the spiritual, woo-woo, metaphysical world, and I want to be able to show you exactly what they are and know everything about them with details. So are you guys ready now to learn some of this higher knowledge and metaphysical spiritual subjects? So I have the detailed information, so let's get to it. Let's start with A, astral travel. So there's astral travel and there's astral projection. So when we're projecting something, we're using our intentional out-of-body experience. And when we are just traveling, that sometimes happens when you don't even know that you're doing it. So you might think that you're actually having a dream, but you're actually astral traveling, okay? So basically, how do you astral travel if you're trying to do it? Well, you have to be very relaxed. You can be in a meditation state, or you could be almost in that sleep state, but not quite asleep. And you set the intention, and that's what you're desiring and projecting. And at this time, you can imagine allowing yourself to be lifted, so your physical body is staying in one place, but your energy body is kind of lifting out of yourself, and that's taking you to a special place where it can be a visitation. It's really kind of neat. So sometimes people think that they're going into different dimensions when they're astral traveling, or astral projection is when you're intentionally trying to project yourself into someone else's space, and it could be somebody else here on Earth. Like say you want to go to your friend Karen's house and you astral project. I would always say, please ask for permission first, because you don't want to just pop in on somebody. Some people do this naturally, and some people have to work at it. So I'm going to tell you about an experience that I had with an astral travel. So years ago, when I would fall asleep, I would feel like I was dreaming, and I didn't realize until the next day that when I woke up, I was so extremely tired. Like I was out for like 3 or 4 days. So I didn't know anything about astral projection or astral travel, any of that kind of terms. And so I, was asking around some seasoned people, and they're like, oh, absolutely, that's an astral travel. So if you were really tired, that's what it is. So during this time, in my dream, I thought it was just a dream in the astral travel. I went to this place that felt like it was in 1980. Everybody was dressed in 1980s clothes, jean shorts, all this kind of stuff. I didn't know what was going on. All I knew was that there was a lot of terror going on. Like there was a bridge that fell, people were dying. It wasn't that great, okay? And all of a sudden I saw this angel in the distance, and this was Archangel Michael, and he's the protector. All of a sudden I saw this beautiful angel in the distance with white light, and I heard him say to me, Jolie, it's time for you to tell the people that they have passed. You have to let them know to go to the light. So I'm thinking this is a dream, but it was so real. I could see the people, I could touch them, I could feel them. I could feel all of their emotions. And so I started telling everybody, go to the light, go to the light, go to the light. Everybody started going boom, boom, boom. I would see their bodies go into this light. And then I knew that they were going to another place like heaven, or wherever you might think that is heaven. And then I saw this one girl, and I'll never forget what she looked like. She had blonde hair, her hair was in a ponytail, jean shorts, tank top, everything. And I kept saying, honey, you've passed, you need to go to the light. And she kind of gave me a naughty word, and basically told me to F off. And so when I turned to Archangel Michael and I said, what do I do? She doesn't want to go to the light. I don't want to leave her here. He says, you did the best that you can, Jolie. It's time for you to go now, and somebody else will come and help her. So all of a sudden I woke up out of my dream, and I know that all those people had went to the light, and I was exhausted for 3 days. 3 days, I just felt like a Mack truck ran me over. So I knew that this was an astral travel, because I didn't do it on purpose, but it occurred. So if you weren't sure if your dream was a dream or an astral travel, you can tell by the tiredness of your body. Like my physical muscles were tired, just like I had run a race or something, because I was running around trying to tell people to go to the light. And actually, that's exactly how I felt, that my physical body was exhausted and my mental capacity was really tired too. So that's how you can know that if you did an astral travel. And again, if you wanted to work on astral projection, that's intentionally putting yourself into another space or place. That's something that you would just practice through meditation and also an almost like dream state. Attachments. Attachments are very interesting. When we think of an attachment, we usually think of something that's connected to us or a spiritual, metaphysical world. It could be attachment to something positive or something negative. And attachment can also be attached to us. So you can't necessarily see an attachment, because if we put something on us, obviously we know we're attached to something. But when it's in the metaphysical world, it's an energy. It could be an entity. It could be a spirit. That means somebody that has passed over into the light, somebody that you know that was once human. You can also have an attachment of something negative that you picked up from someone else's energy, or an entity that's not from this realm. And that's where it gets a little scary and weird, okay? So if someone has an entity attachment, that means that they may feel like they're not their normal self. You're feeling very off. So I want you to kind of like test yourself a little bit. So if you're feeling unbalanced in your life and you want to realize if it's an attachment or it's just you can ask yourself these questions. Do I feel like my normal self, or am I acting like someone unusual, not my normal behavior? Okay, that would be one thing that you could ask about. Do you feel like you are whole? Do you feel like you want to be on this earth, or you're feeling like sometimes you want to be here and sometimes you don't? Those are what we call negative attachments. So if you start to feel like that, that would be your first sign that you need to get a clearing. And we're going to show you later on in the show how to clear yourself. Now, if you have a positive attachment, that's a good thing. So a positive attachment could be like your angels or guides that are surrounding you and they're helping you at those moments. So you might not feel alone and you feel like there's presence around you. That's a good sign. So those kind of attachments we like. But if it's anything negative, just remember what I said. If you're not feeling your normal self and it's outside your normal activities and feelings and even words that you might be saying and expressing, then you might want to look into doing a body cleansing. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Auras. If you don't know what your aura basically is your electromagnetic field that surrounds your body. So it's about 3.5 feet that comes from your physical body all the way out. The basic way to do it is just put your arm all the way out in front of you and just know that that's how far your aura extends. So it's out to your fingertips and all the way around your body, 3D. Some people call it your auric egg. So our auras are really important to us. You might have heard about your auras and your chakras. Your aura is this layer around our body that moves with us wherever we go. So again, it's positive and negative and neutral charges that are within our energy field. So we have a name in the spiritual realm. We call it your aura instead of your electromagnetic field, but they mean the same exact thing. So your aura, what does it do for you? Our aura holds on to energy. So basically, if you're feeling positive, you're going to feel that there's more positive charges in there that are going to make you feel more enlightened, more happy, happy-go-lucky, and fun. And if you have negative energy in your aura, then you might feel like you have lower vibration energy, meaning like you might feel stuck that day, you might feel like you're having problematic things happen to you. And if you don't know how you feel at all, that's the first sign that you need to cleanse your aura. So that means we either picked up other people's energy that could be stuck into our energy field from their feelings or their emotions, or them speaking to you in not a nice manner. We could also hold on to all of those energy frequencies. So if you're starting to notice that you love the way you feel, most likely your aura is clean and cleansed. If you're feeling a little bit off, then that means that you probably do have other people's energies in your aura and it's time to cleanse it off. So how do we cleanse it? Very easily. You're just using your mind and you're visualizing anything that's in your auric field. So imagine if there's positive signs and negative signs, or anything negative that you want to think of, a gray cloud, whatever it is to you. Imagine taking those, bringing them all the way out and grabbing them and putting them into the earth to be recycled and renewed. And just imagine that Mother Earth is going to change them and recycle them into something that's positive. so you don't have to think about it anymore. And then you'll feel clean and clear. So our minds are very powerful. Just remember, as long as you think it, you can do it. And now we're going to talk about Akashic Records. So you might have heard the term before, Akashic Records. It sounds kind of foreign in a way, but basically it's believed to be a light language from Helena Blavatsky of the year 1831 to 91. She was characterized as sort of a life force, energy, indestructible tablets of light, and this is what she thought Akashic Records was. So back then, we would use all these kind of things, and the Akashic Records is a place for all universal events. So for thoughts, words, emotions, everything that's going to happen in your life. So some people believe, and they study this, they go into a meditative state and they go to this imaginary library and they walk into this space. And when you walk into the library, you see a book that has your name on it. And when you see your name on that book, you open it up and you could read things from your past, from your present, and also coming in your future. So it's a really interesting concept to study, and it's a really interesting one to have a reader give you an Akashic record reading. Yes, this really happens. You could go to a psychic and ask them if they do Akashic records, and if they do, that would be something great for you to do. You could also do it yourself by a meditative state, and you set your intention that you want to do an Akashic record reading on yourself. So this way you could connect into you and your soul and go into those deep records of this light language that's specifically for you. Awakening. So an awakening, a spiritual awakening, is a shift in your thoughts and your feelings, and ultimately becomes a shift in your life. When one is awakened, you might feel different experiences. There's different interpretations of a spiritual awakening. It's depending on your spiritual practices. So here are some signs that you can tell if you're going through a spiritual awakening. If you feel a little detached from your regular life, you're looking for some sort of purpose in your life. If you're feeling like you need to be renewed, if you're re-evaluating your belief system. Also, if your dreams become more vivid is another sign that you're in a spiritual awakening. If you're experiencing more synchronicities in your life, that could be your spiritual awakening as well. Sometimes these experiences are so mind-blowing, and our experiences that we have, there's no coincidences, and you just want to know what is going on, and you feel a little confused about it. Most of the time, you are going through a spiritual awakening. Angels. So the angels are said to be God's messengers. There's angels and there's archangels. There's 7 archangels. So my favorite angel is Archangel Michael. He's the all-knowing warrior, the angel of protection and guidance. There's also Archangel Gabriel. He's the archangel of sending messages. And then there's Raphael. He's the archangel of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual healing. Archangel Jophiel is the angel of beauty and positivity. And Archangel Ariel, the angel of nature and animals. Archangel Azrael is the angel of transitions of life and adjustments. And Archangel Chamuel is the angel of peaceful relationships, courage, and purpose. So I've been lucky enough and blessed enough to be in the presence of Archangel Michael almost every day, because I do readings and I channel Archangel Michael. That's who I'm hearing my messages from. So basically, I'm hearing and sensing and feeling information from Archangel Michael for my clients when I do a reading. I'm a professional psychic reader. So in the 15 years of me doing readings, I really didn't know anything about angels until I heard, "I'm telling you messages." And I said, "What is this? I'm hearing this in my ear." And I heard, "My name is Michael." And I didn't know really who I was hearing the messages from since my childhood, but I realized now it was the same angel, Archangel Michael. And he's the protector, all-knowing, and some say he's closest to God. And I felt very blessed, so blessed that he talks to me, and he talks to many of us all around the world, all around the globe, and he's everyone's angel. He can be in more places at once, and that's why a lot of us can call upon our angels, and we can still feel or sense them. Maybe you don't hear them, but a lot of us do. And just know that they're there for you, and they're there to protect and keep you safe and help you with all the higher knowledge you need to know to help you on your positive path in your life. So all of us here, that I could teach you and other people in your life how to talk to angels. Sometimes we just pray to them or speak to them, but you can know that they do talk back to us through signs and symbols. So sometimes you might find a feather, sometimes you might see a butterfly. That can be from an angel or a spirit or something that you know that has passed over, but they're all signs and they're all speaking to us through these communications. And just know that you're never alone. So whenever you're feeling that you need to have a little blessing in your life, call upon any of these angels, especially the top 7, the archangels, and they'll be there for you. Now we're going to talk about an altar. So basically, an altar is a place that helps you have deeper connection to your spiritual practice, for reflection, for gratitude, and also connection to the divine. Some people might call this like a prayer space. Some people consider it a sacred space if they created the energy there. And basically, it's a place that feels sacred to you, where you can have maybe things that are important to you, like crystals. Like for me, in my sacred space, we're going to show you what that looks like. I have an altar of crystals. I have statues of Archangel Michael and different angels. And all those things are very important to me. I even have gifts that my grandmother have given me, who has passed on from friends, from my clients, when they go to different places. These are all meaningful things to me, and that's what your altar or sacred space is. Okay, everybody, that wraps up A, and now I will see you for the next episode. For B, we're going to talk about bowls, crystal bowls, vibration, frequency, all that, and we'll see you soon.